Hey Craig, can we bring a tip jar up here? Like a fish bowl or something?
And just let the
every little bit counts.
And just let everyone know, I'm telling you, I got on the plane, flew to Europe, $140. Not other money stock, not other money in stocks and real estate. Not, you know, I mean, I didn't even own my truck, and I had a truck and a fifth wheel trailer that after I sold the house, I kept my fifth wheel trailer in my truck, and so I had that stuff paid for a year, but I didn't even own that. When the year was up, the payments were due. So, so literally, like I was going over there with $140.
Classic. 2005, you get in the break to Mount Pelier?
Yeah, Montpellier was stage 13 in 2005.
So then Chavanel.
Yep, Chavanel.
Don't like that guy, do you?
No, I mean, he's playing the game to win, and so am I playing the game to win. But that day was funny because the director come up to me and he said, Chris, tomorrow's the mountain stage, so I don't want you to do anything today. Just hang out in the group and rest your legs. And we're about 10, 15 miles into the race, but the next thing you know, I'm in a 5-man break, and we're in the break for 100 miles all the way to the finish of the stage.
You guys remember this stage?
Oh, yeah.
I know I was screaming at the TV that day, too.
Well, it was a great stage. We were off, 5 of us were in the break, and some great guys, and we had Fletcher in the break with me, so some fantastic riders in there. And Chavanel ended up coming across just at the finish of the stage. We had the field behind us about 30 seconds for the last. With 30 miles to go, they were a minute behind us, so we thought, oh, for sure we're getting caught. So we just kept doing some easy tempo, and then the field got within 30 seconds, and Chavanel jumped across. And then when he jumped across, as soon as he caught us, he attacked us, and then I jumped with him. And we had about less than 10 miles to go when it was just him and I one-on-one, and he attacked me about 5 times right away. And after the 5th time, because he would attack me and I'd catch him, and then he'd give me a little elbow to pull through. So I'd do a pull, and as soon as I pulled through, he'd attack me again. And so I'd jump. I literally did it 5 times, and finally after the 5th time, I was like, okay. And I didn't know if he spoke English or not, but I figured he did, because most of them do. And so I told him in English, I said, if you attack me again, you're going to pull me all the way to the finish. And so he goes, oh, no, in broken English. He's like, no, I won't attack anymore. So we worked really well the last few miles. And so, and of course, Chavanel is quite a bit bigger than me, and I'm not a sprinter. So as we came into the finish, I pulled into just about the 1K banner to go, and after that, he pulled through, and I needed him to pull at least the last 600, 800 meters to the line so I could beat him in the sprint. And as we're coming in with 800 meters, with 600 meters, and 400 meters to go, we're going around a slight bend so you can't see the finish line. And my director's just yelling at me. He's yelling, go, you gotta go, you gotta go, you gotta go. But I can't go, because if you go from 600 meters, you're gonna lose. Yeah. And so that year, the only thing that was popping into my head is I didn't give up this much stuff this year to get second at a stage of the tour. I'd rather get last. And so I waited to the very last minute when I knew for sure that I could beat him in the sprint. And just as my front tire got that much further than his front tire, the whole field passes on the right. So I had it won with about 150 meters to go.
Amazing. I mean, it's pretty cool to hear that story from you. You just had a teammate retire.
Which one? Yeah. No.
You're outliving all of them, or at least your career
I'm
is.
going the longest. Everyone's like, I got asked that question, like, when are you retiring? I was like, well, I think I got at least 3 to 10 good years left in me, so we'll see. But I'm at that point in my career now where I figure in another 4 or 5 months from now I'll be signing a 2-year contract, and then at this time, another 2 years from now, I'll be deciding if I'm going any longer.
So you're going to race to your, I think you just turned 32.
I'm 40 this year.
He's turning 40.
Yeah,
okay.
So I'm 40 this year, yep.
And in 10th in the Tour de France last summer. That's pretty amazing. So without that retired rider, things are going to change quite a bit on Radio Shack this year.
Absolutely. With Lance retiring, it'll definitely change a little bit. With Lance on the team, it was a fantastic atmosphere when we come to the races, because he brings so much energy to the races. It's unbelievable around the bus. I mean, we need 10 policemen around the bus. You got to put a barrier that's you know, a good 15 feet out away from the bus. And then the trick is you either got to leave way before Lance or way after Lance, because you don't want to leave at the same time where you get knocked off your bike. And so it's really crazy the atmosphere that Lance brings to the race. But also what Lance brings to the race is then we have, you know, 3-4 guys that are dedicated to looking after Lance. And so when you take a 9-man team to the tour and you're losing 4 that are working for Lance, that's 5 guys. And so at least 4 of us to do other things in the race that got to be done.
I'm listening. I'm not thinking about questions I'm going to ask. But so he's gone now,
yeah.
and with him there, did it make things easier in some respects because the focus and everything was about him?
Well, no, I don't think it made it easier. It made it more exciting and fun. And certainly, I enjoyed the atmosphere, and I miss him leaving for that reason. But it didn't make it any easier because the only result that was good enough was pure domination. Like, you couldn't just win a stage, and you couldn't win a stage at the Tour de France and everyone thought you were happy. You know, last year at the Tour de France, we won a team classification. I was 10th overall. Levi rode top 10 most of the tour. We still won a stage. So we had some good results. And for most teams, those were big. If you took any French team, that would have been a fantastic Tour de France. But for Radio Shack, because we had Lance and it wasn't pure domination, it was far below par. And so nobody was happy.
Right. Going back to last year in the Tour, obviously the big day was when Lance had, well, he faltered a little bit.
Well, I don't know if he faltered or
he had issues.
Put it down. Yeah,
he finally had some bad luck.
Yeah, oh yeah, he had a lot of bad luck. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. The 7 years that he had, to arrive at the Tour de France 7 years in a row with your best form, it's not that difficult to arrive with your best form at any race when that's your objective. What's really difficult is to arrive there, do a 3-week race, not get food poisoning, not crash, not get a flat tire at the bad time.
Bad meat.
Right,
don't forget about bad meat.
Yeah, bad meat. Yeah, good meat. so there's a lot of problems that can happen in a 3-4 week window. But then even outside of 3-4 weeks, you can go back to 2 months before the tour starts, and you can't crash and break your leg. You can't break your arm. You can't one month before the tour you can't get the flu. 2 weeks before the tour you can't get a really bad cold that would stop the training. So for me, what was most impressive with that 7 years is just the amount of good luck he had. And so he got 7 years of good luck, and last year he got none.
Yeah, but you had good luck.
Well, it depends on how you look at it.
So in that stage, you actually, I think you did turn around, didn't you, and ride back?
No, I didn't turn around. When he crashed, first off, he crashed right before the hardest climb of this was the first real mountain stage of the tour. We had one right before the rest day that was hard, but finished with about a group of 40 or 50 of us. And then we had a rest day, and then this was the next big day. We were going to go over 2 really big climbs and 1 summit finish. And so you had the big climb that Lance crashed just before that climb. And at the time, I believe Lance was sure that the field we were still far enough from the last climb that the field would ease up a little bit and wait for him. Because if you go back and you watch any of the videos from it, you see where he's taking a little bit more time to get his spare bike and get on his spare bike and get going. And it was hard. I mean, he crashed doing 50K an hour, 30 miles an hour at least through a roundabout. And so he's getting up, and of course when you crash like that, you want to check yourself out and stuff, but he's also assuming they're going to go a little bit easier up the front until he gets back up there. It's the normal code. I would say at that moment it's justifiable that they could be going hard, but usually still at that moment in the race, I would say 95% of the time they're going to ease up and wait for a rider like Lance. And instead what happened is Sky really just punched it. And we were going so fast into the climb, and as we started the climb, they just punched it. I mean, I was doing 400 plus watts sitting on the back of the field when they're going, and I'm sitting there talking in the radio, you better get Lance up here right now, because they're not waiting. And so I'm in the front part just at the start of the climb, but as it starts, Yanni and I, we drop off the front and we go to the back, because we know that the 4 guys helping Lance on the flat part to get to the back of the group on the climb are going to blow up. We're going to have to get Lance from the back of the group to the front of the group. So we got to pass 170, 180 riders while it's strung out going up the climb. And so Lance is now he's not only has he crashed hard, but he's also gone all out, full gas for a solid 15-20 minutes so they can get him back on. Then when he reaches the back of the group, Yanni and I got to get him along the side and all the way up the side of the group, fighting for little space that we can find to get him up the road to the front. And then we get him in the front group, and literally, like, when he bonked, it was 15 minutes from the top of the climb. And so if he would have had that 15 minutes back where he was going 100%, and probably during that 15 minutes, it's pretty normal that you take a couple gels right before a climb of that difficulty. So you take in some calories. So realistically, I'm 100% certain, had we hit that climb and had he not crashed, he would have made it over that climb no problem, and we would have started the last climb with him at the front in a group of 30, because by that time the front group was already down to 20 guys or something like that, and we would have been in that for sure.